Welcome to the Seek 2023 podcast, featuring some of our favorite podcasters, recorded live at the Spoke Street Media booth during Seek 2023 in St. Louis. We hope these give you a glimpse of the energy and passion from the conference and help you in your faith journey. Enjoy.
Welcome to The Crunch, the only podcast that knows how to have a good time.
Yeah, let's hear it out there.
It's your boy, Ethan.
And I'm Patrick, and today we're going to be reading the entire catechism.
Oh, no way.
The whole thing.
Parts 1
In
and
the
2.
beginning, God created what?
What?
Is that the wrong book?
I'm really upset. Speaking of Father Mike Schmitz, he was supposed to be right before us.
Yeah.
And we were really jazzed because we were like, oh, yes, Father Mike audience leading right into our audience. We love shouting out smaller creators, which is huge.
We can give him a good time.
Yes. But he got moved to yesterday.
I know.
And that's not good for us.
No, not at all.
So
the whole thing's a wash.
Yeah.
We might as well
just pack up and go home.
Might as well leave.
But thank you guys for dancing with us.
Yeah.
When was the last time you danced at a Seek conference?
Yesterday? That wasn't
right.
swing dancing.
When was the last time today you danced at a Seek conference? Never, right?
Never,
yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
No, my favorite thing on the schedule so far was swing dancing. My brother, shout out Nick, he invited me swing dancing. He was like, oh, swing dancing starts at 9 o'clock. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, man.
9 p.m.?
Yeah. I was like,
who swing dances after dark?
I was like, you don't understand. I am a father now.
Yeah.
I was in bed snoozing 7:30 p.m.
If I dance after the sun goes down, I'm not only accountable to God,
No?
I'm accountable to my wife.
Sure.
And it's a different situation.
You know, St. Francis de Sales, in Introduction to the Devout Life, said that dancing was a gateway to sin. So
he did say that.
So he's in heaven right now.
So did that guy in Footloose. So I don't know if we should really be
Footloose, de Sales, same guy.
Same guy. And we go as we were talking about. But it is interesting, talking about being married at Seek. The last time we were at a live in-person Seek recording, I don't even think I was dating Emma.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Or you were dating Phoebe, weren't you?
I was dating Phoebe, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So if you guys saw me at SLS 2020, I'm all kinds of different. I got a kid. I got a wife.
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty well for myself, all things considered.
I have a diversified portfolio.
Yeah, right? I got a 401k. I got options.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. Options, baby.
Always had options.
I had this bit that I was going to run at the very beginning before I knew that we were going to do this big dance party thing.
Yeah.
I was going to say the only podcast that's friends with the FBI.
Okay.
And hold on.
Bit's not over. Don't laugh yet.
And I was going to say, yeah, isn't your wife's name Phoebe?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because it's
That's
FBI.
funny.
And then I was going to get into this whole thing about the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Bureaucracy, famously, not very good at investigating things.
Indeed.
So it's crazy that the highest investigative body we have on our land is not just a guy smoking cigarettes saying, when that broad came through my door. You know, because that's the guy who finds stuff out. You know
Or
what
like
I mean?
the Foghorn Leghorn guy from Knives Out.
The Foghorn Leghorn guy.
What's his name? Benoit Blanc, thank you.
Benoit Blanc.
Did you like Glass Onion? What?
I almost said the thing that I
You
can't say.
almost said the thing you
I almost
can't
said the
say.
thing I can't say.
Yeah.
It's I enjoyed Glass Onion.
Yeah, you did?
Yeah. Who's laughing?
I think they know what you were going to say.
They know what I'm talking about?
They know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's Crunch After Dark, baby.
I'm going to go for it.
Say
Ass Glunion.
There it is. That's called subverting expectations.
Yes,
I bet you didn't hear that word.
You're not going to hear Ted Shree speak of a donkey in such a way.
No.
We out here talking about Balaam.
Yeah, man.
I renamed my rear end Balaam.
Because I talk out of it all the time.
Yeah. What has been your...
goodness.
I have some other things to chat about, but I want to hear... You have been running around like a madman this
I'm a
week.
crazy person at Seek. We've
What
talked
is
about
driving
this.
you? What's your energy?
I think... so you and I are similar.
No.
In that we have a podcast.
We're both sitting in this booth right now.
We're both sitting in this booth.
Yeah.
I think you and I both get like super jazzed at conferences. We get
I get
way up here.
Yeah, you're more of like a fusion jazz, and I'm kind of like a freeform.
Yeah, I'm more like Miles Davis, and you're more like
Buddy Rich.
I was gonna say Mario.
I'm like the guy in Whiplash. What?
What? He did jazz.
I was
probably.
going for J.K. Simmons throwing the cymbal at the guy's head, but you said Mario.
Yeah.
Did you see? Speaking of, first of all, I wanted to say thank you to everybody who's here and not at the 3D showing of Avatar 2 at the movie theater across the street. I don't know if they're excited about Avatar or
This
just
is
glad to be
also a
here.
sequel 12 years in the making.
Our first episode was recorded when we were 14.
Yeah.
But I was walking by the movie theater because you have to go past it to get into the convention center.
Yeah.
and they were doing an ad for like, you can play video games at our movie theater.
Oh, yeah?
Which is kind of cool. Like, you've seen this before.
Sure.
But they were playing.
No, it's not. That's like dumb. Why would you pay money to go to a theater?
Bigger screen, better time. But it was.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can play games at the movie theater. I thought you meant you can like play games while the movie is playing.
Oh.
That's just a waste of money. Like the little things at restaurants, you know?
I thought you meant they made you bring your own TV to the movie theater and plug in. And
like you've always been able to play video games at the movie if you have
just
a
bring
Game Boy.
Nintendo DS into the bathroom and play Nintendogs.
No, I used to bring it. Never mind. Yeah.
So what I was saying.
Sure. Who knows?
Welcome to the podcast. This is all that it is.
This is what it is.
So we were walking by and I see Mario Kart on the screen. Chris Pratt in all of his glory going.
The movie's just Mario.
Let's go. Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't the Mario.
Maybe they drive a kart.
It was actual Mario Kart. And then on the bottom in big letters, covering about half the screen, it said Mario Kart on Nintendo, just like flashing in big letters. And I was like,
Mario Kart from Nintendo.
Mario Kart.
My dad works at Mario Kart at Nintendo.
It's like when your grandma tries to tell you what game. I got you Mario Kart on Nintendo. It's
True
like,
story.
Thanks,
One time
Grandma.
I wanted Pokemon Emeralds for Christmas one year. All right, rude. First of all,
Pokemon boring.
and I asked my grandma if she could get me Pokemon Emerald for Christmas,
Yeah.
whatever this was, like 2003. I don't know. And she went to Toys R Us.
You were
dated
alive
reference.
in 2003?
Yeah, man.
There are some people here that are not
Raise
alive
your hand
in
if you were alive in 2003.
Okay, good.
See? Wow, look at that.
2004?
L.
2005. Wait, hold on. We should go backwards.
Who got 4 hours of sleep last night?
Yeah! I went the wrong way. I should have gone backwards if I wanted to, because clearly everybody is alive after when they're born. Some kind of moron over here. 2002, maybe.
Earlier, this guy
good,
tried to describe to me how focus works, about how it's split into 4 areas: south, and the other 4.
The other 3, I got stuck at the bottom of the compass. I couldn't make my way out of the Tropic of Cancer. It was not good.
So I was telling my grandma I wanted Pokemon Emerald for Christmas.
Yes.
And I don't think I specified Pokemon, maybe? I don't know. Because she went to Toys R Us and she was badgering this poor store clerk.
Badgering,
if you believe it. And she was like, I need to find Harry Potter emeralds. And this guy was like, is there like a Harry Potter emerald? Is there like a...
He's really doing his best to try and figure out how to help this lady.
He was like trying,
like piecing together all of the mind puzzle that she's weaving in front of him.
So what other franchises is your kid a slave to? Does he like Mario? Maybe there's a Mario Emerald. I don't know.
FIFA Emerald.
I don't even think they sell video games at Toys R Us.
They do. I got bad news for you about Toys R Us.
They don't have Toys R Us anymore.
Yeah,
they have it at Macy's.
It's just one giraffe wandering around the country looking for a home.
Earlier, I was telling a girl that I have a podcast, and she thought I said giraffe. And I was like, no, but I'll trade the podcast for a giraffe. I'll do that.
Speaking of crazy things that people tell us, we were recording live. I don't know if anybody saw our semi-illegal mobile podcast earlier this week.
Give a round of applause for the simp.
The simp. We were simping hard.
We were simping
earlier
all
this
week,
week,
baby.
But someone came up to us and he spoke words in a very specific order.
So we have a segment
on our show. This is actually a really great lead-in. So later in the show, about a half hour from now, I don't know, 45 minutes.
Yeah, whatever.
Time is a myth when you get into podcasting.
Flat circle, all
that.
Yeah,
it's all the same. We do a dating segment called Dr. Ethan's Dating Corner. That's me. We actually have a couple in the audience that is together because of our segment. Raise your hands.
Stand up, guys.
Cheer for them.
2 years.
That's
there
great.
You go.
2 years of dating because of advice that I gave. Stop clapping for them. Clap for me. I gave the advice. Get out of there. Sit down.
He was like, should I call her? And Ethan was like, yes.
Yeah.
That's the dating advice.
Half the time it's dudes writing in being like, what should I do?
Voice. I'm sorry I gave you the voice of the guy from Simpsons.
Rick. Yeah. That's what you gave him.
That's what I gave him.
But half the time it's dudes who are writing in like, I don't know if I should talk to this girl. And then we're like, do it. And they're like, dude, you changed my life.
Oh my God.
Oh, no way. I didn't know that that's what I was supposed to do.
So if you, a woman.
Or a man.
No. Hold on. Let me finish. If you, a woman, have a guy that you're like, I want him to ask me out, you should just text and be like, hey, this is crazy. There's a podcast going on. And we won't tell him.
Yeah.
You come have him here and be like, hey, you should go ask them if you should ask me out. And then we'll tell him to do it. We'll work together on this.
You just made like a 3-layer cake there.
That's it was a Neapolitan, baby.
So we do a segment called Dr. Ethan's Dating Corner. We're going to do it at the end of this episode. So if you have a question about your dating life, okay, it could be about anything. How to get the girl, how to lose the guy, if you know what I'm saying.
In 10
Any
days.
of those things, you will have a chance to come into the booth, ask us a question, we will answer it live. So start ruminating, which does mean to throw up in your mouth. I learned that earlier this week. Start ruminating and come to us later. So we were talking about, why was I talking about that? Oh, because the guy came up to us.
Yeah.
Tell him what the guy said.
So we have a segment, and a lot of people will come up to us and say, hey, because of you guys, I'm in a relationship. Or because of you guys, I got married.
I'm in the seminary.
Yeah. This guy, sometimes that's the answer too, folks.
Yeah. I'm in the Knights of Columbus now.
This guy came up to us and he said, because first comes love, first comes marriage, then comes... Yeah, there you go. You guys remember Playground?
Very smart.
Yeah. So he comes up to us and says, you guys are the reason my wife is pregnant.
We were like, whoa! Little context. Let's define some premises
I mean, of course, I knew exactly what he meant. But
I had to be shaken out of a stupor.
he was doing Steve Harvey stuff. He was like,
it was like, you said uh-huh? You know how Steve Harvey always freaks out when he asks a very clearly sexually charged question and then he gets a sexual answer and he's like, I love Steve Harvey. What a guy.
Yeah, what a guy. Love the mustache.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah.
We were talking about the conference.
Yeah, the conference. We're here at the Seek conference.
So I did something today that I've never done before at a Seek conference.
Showered.
I've done 2 things today that I've never done before at a Seek conference.
Dude, there's a shower in the sponsor lounge. Did you see it?
Is there actually?
Yeah. I don't know why.
I don't want to shower with the sponsor. Is it like a big group shower?
No.
Just reliving all of my middle school hell with a bunch of the sponsors from this conference?
It can fit max 4 people.
All right, I need 2 volunteers. No, I'm kidding. So
I would like to unvolunteer myself.
Yeah. Okay, I need 3 volunteers. So I took a nap in the middle of the day today.
Oh, yeah.
Because, now this is new for me. Usually, so I was a focus missionary for 3 years. At the University of Tulsa, shout out.
EMA. Oh, no, sorry, wrong one.
That's the loudest the University of Tulsa has ever been or will ever be.
Yeah.
So everyone say thank you to Tulsa for being here. But I was a missionary at the University of Tulsa, and I was a student at Kansas State University. This is my 5th in-person Seek conference, my 7th conference, including those weird digital ones that we had to do because of the pandemic, if you know what I'm saying.
Stop saying that.
I'm sorry, it's a joke. I didn't mean it.
People are going to think we're weird.
I know. I'm sorry.
People are going to think we're like other Catholic podcasts.
What's going on? Welcome to the Daily Wire. I'm kidding. No, it's a joke. It's a joke. I know. I gotta pull it back. So I took a nap today.
Welcome to Pints with Aquinas. Sorry.
I took a nap today, which is something because I always had to be the guy with the flag, or I always had to be the guy flirting with the girls. I never had a chance to rest. Ain't no rest for the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. And so today I went back to my hotel room.
Yeah.
And while my wife and my baby and my mother-in-law were watching Seinfeld, I conked out for 45 minutes.
Nice.
It was amazing.
I love that.
I woke up, my hair looked a little mussed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like...
People can't tell the headphones.
You can't tell with the headphones. And also, I don't care what they think about me. I'm married and I have a kid.
If I cared what they thought about me, I would not podcast.
I would not be doing a live podcast.
Yeah. You can say so many things. You can get in a lot of trouble these days. I don't know if you heard about this cancel culture thing. Crazy.
There's a guy just off stage with one of those big shepherd's crooks that at any moment, he'll stick it around our necks and yank us off stage if we mess up. But that's all that's going on for me, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been working. I've been scanning people's badges.
Yeah.
So today I got one of those little scanny things.
Show it.
I got a scanny thing. Let's give it up for a scanny guy. My new best friend. So the problem
Patrick
with
if you don't know anything about Patrick, he's a marketing genius. He loves to market. He loves to sell. He loves to make deals.
I like to meet people.
He's a business boy.
I am a utilitarian, a strict utilitarian.
He's a capitalist pig.
All I see are dollar signs. All right.
People mean nothing to me. All I see are dollar signs.
And so they gave us this little scanny thing. So what you can do is you can meet people at Seek, right? And then you say, okay, cool, it's good to meet you, bye. And then you forget everything you talked about, right?
Yeah.
I've talked to a bunch of people this week, and I've forgotten everything, right? Unless I write it down. And so I was telling people about the podcast, and I was like, I want to track how many people I meet, and the best way is to scan those little things you have on your name badges. I talked to 465 people today. That was so fun, guys. I love that. My wife's an introvert. She's standing in the back going, that sounds awful. How can you do that?
That's 2% of the people here?
Yeah, not much, but
that's pretty
it's
impressive.
Honest work.
It ain't much, but it's honest work.
Farmersonly.com, that's me. Farming content.
We don't have an ad deal with farmersonly.com, so we
not
really
yet,
should.
Baby.
When is Focus?
Catholic Match dropped out. We're here, baby.
Focus should start a dating website, don't you think?
I think Focus is a dating website.
At Seek, back in my day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think what they should have here is like
dating fast doesn't mean getting a date as quickly as you can.
Yeah, right. Dating fast and dating fast aren't exactly the same thing.
The same thing.
What I think they should have is some type of like speed dating event where it's totally voluntary. Because a lot of this Mission Way, there's men approaching women and women kind of looking at men and from groups, the safety of groups.
Yeah,
and it's all very
wise.
It's all very involuntary, right? Like everyone's just kind of here,
sure.
but they haven't agreed necessarily to the dating game. Mm-hmm. How I feel is that there should be a room that's called the speed dating room, where you can just go in and sit down and someone just kind of escorts you around a room and everybody is in there very obviously looking for some type of
trying
mate.
to date. I get it.
Trying to date. And I feel like that. I think we should MC that room.
You think that's our thing?
We like commenting on what people are talking about and like putting like, oh, hi, my name's Emily. And then you do the man voice. You're like, oh, my name's Jeffrey. I think we could have a lot of fun.
I thought you meant like giving color commentary like, oh, he went for talking about his cigar smoking habit and talking about Chesterton. Bad move.
Yeah.
Bad move.
He went for the hand touch in minute 5.
He's going in for the hug. She got him with the side hug. Oh, no.
And then there's a bunch of dudes that are just...
Oh, the humanity.
There's a guy on standby to pour one out for the homies.
Sorry,
He just always has one there ready to pour one out.
Oh, man.
Do you want to talk about... what else do you want to talk about?
I can talk about whatever you want. I'm here podcasting. So if you guys don't know what our show is...
That'd be good to explain.
Raise your hand if you've never seen or heard... we don't have a video podcast. Raise your hand if you've never heard our podcast before, ever.
Wow, that's a pretty significant portion. How many of you are ready to leave?
Hey! You don't have to tell us you're kidding. We know you're not. So
you can't hurt my ego.
To explain our podcast for the uninitiated, it's the only Catholic podcast. So that's all you need to know. The only one. They set this whole booth up for us. It was very nice.
We had like 12 opening acts.
Yeah, it was nuts. It's fun. Even Ben was supposed to open for us earlier.
Who?
You know? Ben Rector. I didn't say it that time.
Patrick made a tweet. He just tweeted Ben Rectum, which I feel like is very disrespectful.
More people laughed here than they did on Twitter. Everyone was very mad.
Yeah.
They were like,
it was autocorrect. It was an accident.
Oh, sorry. That's what I said.
I got my proctologist on speed dial. It's an autocorrect.
I say the word rectum a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we got a lot of butt talk today. We probably need to steer away from that.
Yeah, we probably should dial that back a little bit.
So tell them about our podcast.
We have a comedy podcast. It's a joke.
I hope you can tell.
It's not about anything. It's not supposed to be an education. It's not supposed to be a learning time.
It's not about masculinity in the modern age.
No,
it's not about the catechism. It's not about evangelization.
Yeah. Those podcasts
but it is also about
exist.
all of those things. You know what I mean?
Those podcasts already exist.
Yeah.
So Ethan was a focus missionary. I'm a youth minister. I did theology at Franciscan. I'm writing and talking at people, right? I say words about God. And so sometimes we have conversations about the faith, right? But they're natural. Yeah. I was describing it to someone like this today.
Oh, tell me what you told them.
Do you know? Oh, boy, will I.
Yes. Should I take notes?
Do you know those conversations you have in your dorm late at night after a couple of drinks, hanging out with your buddies?
I lived in the dorm as a freshman. I never drank underage.
Good.
Just like everyone else here, right? Yeah.
And you're
we'll
just
talk later about that.
And you're laughing so hard, and you're just like, your sides are splitting, and you're just like,
you're
wow,
calling an ambulance.
You're calling an ambulance. You're calling your mom, like, where's my health insurance card? I don't have it in my wallet.
I don't want to pay $2,000 for an ambulance ride, but also my guts are leaking, Mom.
We try to capture that energy. So, like, if you have a non-Catholic friend, I'm sorry, I was like, really? She's not Catholic. Anyway, if you have a non-Catholic or a non-Christian friend or someone that's like, just put them in your car for a 30-hour car trip and just put on our podcast, right? We want them to have the experience of like having a conversation about faith, goofing off, having a few chuckles. Let's crack up a little bit.
I'm down to crack up.
So that's what our podcast is. We're a comedy podcast that doesn't make jokes about, degrading women.
Yeah.
Or having zegs.
Yes. We will joke about butts though.
Yeah.
I'm not above butt humor.
I'm not above butts either.
My butt, that would be below me.
Yeah.
Just like
my butt is okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the thing that we talked about, or do you want to keep talking about other stuff?
I don't know. Let's check the bit calculator.
Yeah. Check the bit index.
We already did this. I already did
See
the joke
if the Pope
about
has banned any of our jokes yet.
Yeah, right. We were very afraid of getting kicked out. We had a couple of close calls. We did a semi-illegal mobile podcast. We told you about that. We had our banner up around the area. And sometimes those people on those, the people on the things, right?
You've
seen
the
them?
scooters?
You've seen, and then you're like,
it's like a hoverboard, but with extra stability.
Are they going to take me out? Like, do they know? No, not a Segway. They're like hoverboards. Yeah, it's a headless.
They're hoverboards with the neat thing in the middle.
It's a headless Segway.
Multiple times while we were illegally recording out there in the rest of the conference, because we did not pay for that privilege.
We did not ask.
Yeah, we did not ask at all.
We didn't.
And this guy would drive by, and he would have like the whole getup. He'd be suit jacket. He looked like social security. What's it called? Secret Service.
He looked like Social Security. He was slowly dwindling and not coming to us.
Yes.
Much like Social Security, he never came to us.
Yes.
So,
he looked like a guy that was only here to benefit those of us over the age of 65.
Hey!
Yeah.
Hey.
All right.
That's our only political joke. All right.
Yeah. Well, for now.
Yeah, well.
But he would drive by, and he was looking like the Secret Service, and he had a little earpiece in.
He had a little
and he had the
AirPods
blazer on, and he's
us.
riding around. His arms are straight down, so he looks like a maniac. And he's just driving. And
he looks like an Irish dancer.
And he drives by us, and he looks at us. I make eye contact with him while I'm like doing some type of bit, and he looks at me, and then he kind of leans over, and he goes into his microphone. He whispers something, and then he like looks back at us, and then he drives away. So for about 20 minutes, I was sweating.
I don't work for Focus. I'm gonna get hired and then fired by them.
Yes.
They're going to like make me depend on them for a salary and then fire me, you know?
They're going to extend benefits and then remove benefits.
Remove benefits.
Yes. They're going to make me sign up for Chrome River and navigate the horrible... never mind. Sorry. That's an inside joke for the Focus missionaries out there. Anyway.
You got to be on the inside for that.
You got to be on
joke.
the inside.
So we've talked about the same thing every year, I think, at Seek.
Yeah. Which I think is good because we have a new perspective on it now.
Yeah. So you said you've been to 7 conferences, right?
Well,
Seek
7 Seek conferences. That doesn't count my 6 Steubenville conferences and my 2 NCYCs.
Awesome.
I'm a bit of a
conference guy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I maybe too much, some might say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many of you guys, this is your first conference ever? Give a round of applause. Okay. That's not too many. So a lot of you guys have done this before. You're like, yeah, I know what we're doing. We're going to keynote talk. And the guy comes in and he gives a talk, and then he's like...
And you kind of know towards the end someone's going to come on and start playing the guitar. And people start crying a little bit.
And then there's adoration. You're like, yes! And then you're like,
I know the formula. Ravioli.
This is liturgy, by the way. It's fine. This is okay.
Liturgy's good. We're not against formula.
Formulas are fine. But after a while, it kind of wears off. The emotional high is gone. And we've talked about this before. And what we've always talked about at Seek is like, how do you take the conference with you, Ethan?
Yeah.
I said that to you earlier. What did you say back?
I don't think you should take the conference home with you. I think you should take...
What?
I think you should take Jesus home with you.
Amazing. Give
boom,
snaps
bop,
for Ethan,
boom,
guys.
Bop, bitty, bitty, bop. But I was listening
What do you mean by this?
Well, I was listening to John Michael Lucido do his thing up on screen in his beautiful green sweater.
It was pretty.
Yeah, if I ever look that good at anything...
It was a Harry Potter Emerald sweater, even.
If I ever look good at anything that color...
Yeah.
I need to move on to bigger and better things
than this podcast.
Than this podcast.
Box. Yeah.
But he said something about being dropped behind enemy lines as like the men. He said that to the men. I was like, that's good. But it's also like a weird, because that is true in some cases. But in other cases, like I'm gonna go home to my family, which is
they're not enemies.
They're not enemies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not going back into a hostile environment, which is not true for everybody in the audience. But I think it's like
some of you guys go to like, I don't know, the University of Tulsa. I'm just kidding.
This has also been weird because this is the first conference that I've been to where I haven't been to a single talk or breakout session. And so I really have no business to be talking about how to bring the conference home when I haven't been to a single thing that the conference has put on.
Yeah.
But
saying that loudly into a microphone at Mission Way at 6 p.m.
right in front of a big Seek neon glowing sign.
Thanks for coming, guys.
But the difficult thing is, like, I don't know, I'm in a rough spot. Because a lot of people were talking this week, and this is crazy. I told you about this. A lot of people were talking about like Jesus, and they were talking about like, man, this guy's really in love with the Lord, and this guy's doing this, and this guy's doing that.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was kind of like, that's kind of BS. You know, like not because I don't believe them, but because there's like something in me that's like, I don't know, that sounds kind of fake. That sounds like you're just talking conference talk.
That's just where you're at.
You know? Yeah, it's just where I'm at. And it just
that's just like your gut reaction to someone.
My gut reaction, I know it's not true, but it just sounds like, because we're all here, we all kind of adopt sort of a more highfalutin language when we start talking about these things, like, oh, he's really gone deeper in the Lord with this week. He's really uncovering a lot of wounds. You know, like we start saying that stuff, we don't really know what it means.
Yes. It's like, you guys know how like Father Mike says what a gift all the time?
Yeah.
And like he really means it. Our friend Tracy said that earlier. She's like, that's such a gift.
Who?
Tracy Kalesa.
Oh.
Yeah, she's a Focus missionary.
Anyway.
And she said, what a gift. And I was like, yeah, like I knew she believed it, but it, like a little part of me like kind of rolled my eyes and was like,
yeah,
is that real? You know, like is talking like that or thinking like that or being that, like looking at something that's not, you know, very remarkable, like a conversation with a friend and being like, oh, what a gift.
What a gift.
Or like another episode of a podcast.
Yes.
The Bible in a Year podcast. Like, what a gift.
Patrick and I have recorded like 5 podcasts together this week.
Yeah.
And I'm in this one right now, and I'm like, this ain't a gift. I'm tired.
I'm in a box.
I'm tired.
There's
I'm in a
lights.
Box. Yeah. I'm getting blasted by some LEDs, which I don't know. I've been reading some websites, some articles.
I've been reading some HTML red text on a red background.
There's some
websites.
5G in this convention center that I feel it buzzing in my brain.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that it's not good about this. But at the same time, it is a gift. I know it intellectually, but like when I feel it in my soul, it's like, dude, I just want to go home and I want to lay down on my couch and I want to zone out. You know, like I don't want to have another conversation about God. You know, which is like maybe not a good headspace to be in, but it's just like I feel like a lot of people maybe are there, but they feel like they can't be there because everybody around them is like teaching them another facet about the Catholic faith. And it's like, here's another factoid about your favorite saint. Yeah. And it's like, man, we can't all pretend to care about this stuff for much longer.
Sure.
You know, like if we're being honest with ourselves, like obviously it's all good. I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah, no, this is like, I mean, we only have so much of the capacity as human beings and all of these things are good because like it's good to get, you know, spend a week where you're just hit with all the beautiful things of the faith. Like there's a bunch of pro-life stuff over there and there's like Catholic education and like mission institutes and like different podcasts. And like all this is good because like you never know what's going to stick, right? From a conference perspective, like putting something on and being like, we have something for everybody here, right? Like we have a goofy podcast with 2 dudes and then we have like, you know, a podcast where women are just like, let me just give you, like, can I just affirm you right now? Yeah. You know, and like we have something for everybody, right? The 2 genders. The 2 genders, memes and affirmations. And it's good from a conference perspective to have that, but like when you're on the receiving end, it's like, am I supposed to be taking this all in? But I mean, no. The answer is no. And someday you may be able to take more and more and more in. Like God will stretch you and make you more able to receive more of the beautiful things of the church. But right now you're a finite being. Well, you're always going to be a finite being, and your capacity is going to grow and grow and grow over time. You're like making fun of my hands.
No. I want to say, sorry. I didn't want to forget my point, so I was doing this so that I could remember it.
Oh, that was very distracting. You made me forget my point.
I'm really sorry.
That's okay.
You want to finish your point?
Forgiveness on the pod.
Forgiveness
on the pod. The together.
Podcast. Forgiveness on podcast.
We're going to get copyright struck.
No, Disney doesn't know that we're here.
You can't copyright strike a podcast.
The liberals at Disney wouldn't dare to come so close.
A bit. Stop it.
It's what you're talking about is like having like different sizes of a filter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So like my filter size, some people's is like really wide.
Yeah.
They're here in just like any sort of rock or detritus that's coming into their brain. They're like, I need that.
Yeah.
You know, I have to build a dam for my beaver family, and I need anything that I can get to like create a living situation.
Sure.
For me and my talking beaver friends, we're at NarniaNow.com.
Yeah.
But for me,
Father Christmas is gonna come.
Oh, look, it's Mr. Tumnus, and he's got a little scarf on his wee little neck. I'm C.S. Lewis, you know. It's me, Clive Staples, getting around town with Mr. Tumnus. We can move on. Yeah. So let's get back to that later. Sure. So there's a lot more I have to say about Clive Staples.
Yeah.
But for me, right? So like my filter is way smaller. So like I can catch like at something like this, or like in prayer, or like when I'm reading a book, I can catch like one big thing at a time.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't catch a whole bunch of stuff and put it into my brain, because as soon as I like try to ingest a whole bunch of things, my son starts to scream, and then I have to rock him back to sleep.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I put him down, he starts screaming again, so I got to pick him back up. And it doesn't leave like a lot of room to maybe sort of ponder, the various things. And so it's like for about a couple weeks at a time, I just have like a thing that I think about and pray about.
Sure.
And I feel like that's good.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. We all know that like guy at the Newman Center who like seems like he has it all together.
Yes,
and, he has, like,
and his name is Ethan Stevie, and he graduated from Kansas State University in 2018. And he was a legend, and he's never peaked more than when he was there.
I have said Ema this week more times than I ever have in my entire life.
That's right, baby.
Combined.
Ema, go Cats. That's what I'm talking about.
Just because I keep seeing people with those purple sweaters. Too.
Yes. Well, they're all here.
That's fair. And so, like, there's that one guy at the Newman Center, you're like, man, like, I wish I was holy like him, and he always seems to, like, know a thing. And, like, that seminarian we met who had that really good advice.
Yeah.
Like, he's that guy who's, like, together, you know? It was, his name was, oh, no.
When did we talk to him?
We talked to him on the first day.
Oh.
He walked up, and you were like, oh, I bet you have a girlfriend. And I was like, no, that guy gives seminarian vibes. And he was right. I was right. Yeah.
That guy. Yeah.
And, like, he's that guy who seems like he has it all together, and you're like, you don't feel that way. And it's like... Yeah, it's because you're in a different place than me or him or you, you know? And I think, like, not many of these people have kids, so they don't get get the feel of, like, I'm not praying enough because I have a newborn. But, like, maybe you'll probably get to be there someday.
It's probably something. Well, no, it's probably something. It's probably like, else. I'm not praying enough because I'm too stressed about school.
Because I'm a nursing student.
Because I'm a nursing student. I'm not praying enough. And it's like, man, here's the problem. I don't want everybody to be like all down after they listen to this podcast to be like, Seek was great, and then Ethan and Patrick just like...
We're like the Radiohead of podcasts.
What does that mean?
The song Creep by Radiohead.
Can I be the U2 of the Radiohead of this podcast?
Yeah, you can force your way onto everyone's phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's a good reference to 2014.
Yeah.
But I think the... now I lost my train of thought because of that joke. I know.
Gotcha.
Back and forth.
Zing.
Zap. I'm really stuck. You're going to have to help me. No, it's okay. All the speakers out there, they're saying all these beautiful things. It's very lofty, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like we're trying to help people, bring people down to earth because it's just like not realistic. No matter what you think your life's going to be like when you get home after a Seek conference, it's not going to be true. It's not going to happen. Yeah. You're going to fail and you're going to sin. And you're going to be like, I just decided at Seek that I was never going to do that sin ever again. And I did it on the bus home.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But that's just how it is, you know? Like I've told myself so many times I'm going to finish reading Anna Karenina, this beast of a book, 860 pages. I was going to finish it by New Year's. I was like, I'm done. I'm deleting Twitter off the phone. No more Discord, bit.ly/crunch Discord. If you want to join our Discord.
You're like, maybe the Chinese New Year.
Yeah, maybe. But then I like just re-downloaded it all, and I was watching YouTube videos instead of reading Anna Karenina. It's like I just decided a day ago that I was done with this.
Yeah.
And now here I am, same guy. What am I doing?
Same problem.
You know?
Maybe it's because you're the same guy, Ethan. Oh. Maybe you need to allow the Holy Spirit.
All right, I'm done. I'm moving out.
Transform you into Jesus.
I don't know. That sounds hard.
I mean, like, this is something
scary.
This is something that I started telling.
My whole life would have to be different.
Oh no! This is something that I started telling my high schoolers because, like, I don't know. I was tired of telling them that like Christianity was supposed to make them different, like make their lives different.
Yeah.
And like I had no substantial evidence that was the case because my life didn't look very much different, you know?
Yeah.
And like I didn't feel like my life was. It is, but I didn't feel that way. And I was trying to figure out like, okay, what is being Christian mean? Because they were all good people. And they all feel like they can be good people without the Holy Spirit.
I'm not Hitler.
You really can't.
You know, that's what people say.
Yeah.
It's like as long as I'm not Hitler, I'm good.
And so I was praying about it, and I was like, yeah, the point of the Christian life is not to be a good person, though. It's to be Jesus.
Whoa.
Right? And so I started asking them the question. I was like, what would your school look like? What would your high school look like if Jesus, as like a 14-year-old kid, went to your high school? Like if the God-man...
That'd be crazy. We'd all be walking on the pool.
We'd be chilling. We'd be
drinking
out.
wine at lunch.
Our swimming team would be undefeated.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'd a lot of bread. A lot of bread.
We'd finally get rid of that leprosy problem at our school.
Yes. I go to school on an island in the Pacific.
I go to school on Molokai.
The teachers would be all mad all the time because there's this guy who knows more about the law than they do.
Yeah. Get 'em.
Yeah, that'd be fun. We could own the teachers finally.
And I was like, I don't know, like if Jesus went to your school, the kids in the back of the bus probably would be sending those pictures to each other, right? Because Jesus might be there.
Right.
You probably wouldn't hear people gossiping in the hallways because Jesus is around, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's supposed to be you, right? Your baptism, you put on Christ. So you are supposed to be Jesus in a way that's like more than, it's like not just be like Jesus. I was tired of saying be like Jesus. I was like, no, it's more than that. It's like you got to be Jesus.
Because people will put a bumper sticker on their car that says like it's like the fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's
like,
other
people will put the fish with the feet, and they're like,
gotcha. Evolution's real, idiot.
Yeah,
believe it's like
that.
Every time one time I saw a bumper sticker, and it said, "My car is a Transformers," and it had the Decepticon logo on it.
That's great.
It was amazing.
That's the funniest bumper sticker.
My car is a Transformers. Never gonna forget that Mustang.
So I was telling the kids this. I was like, and one of the kids was like, hey, what does that mean? And I was like, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I should know that because I'm the one who told you to do it.
You're the youth minister.
And like, it means descending, right? Like Jesus came down from heaven, and then after that he descended into hell to rise again, right? It means descending, not meeting someone halfway.
Yes, fully incarnating.
Yeah. All right, LeVar Burton over here. What's going on?
I'm out here. You ever heard of Gazer Beam from The Incredibles?
Kronos. What is Kronos?
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
2005, The Incredibles. Brad Bird directing.
Incredible.
Pixar producing.
Huge.
Quite a film.
I guess like now I lost my train of thought. We're just going back.
I'm sorry for turning into Gazer Beam from The Incredibles. I think we've made our point sufficiently.
You think so?
Yeah.
I was about to hit something else.
I was going to go into Dr. Ethan's dating corner, but
I'll finish this up and then
we'll traverse. If you have a dating question,
think about it.
Prepare. Get ready.
Oh yeah,
we'll take one, and if we have time for two, we'll do two.
We'll take two.
Yeah.
Becoming incarnate means going all the way, right? Like
yes.
Not
There's
just
no halfway. If Jesus halfway incarnated, that would be insane.
That'd be a heresy.
He'd be like a half God, half man.
A demigod.
Which would not be real. Yeah. He's fully God, fully man. Bringing
Jesus home with you means becoming fully like the people you're trying to reach. It means reaching people outside of the comfort of your Newman Center.
Whoa.
It means meeting people in places you might not feel comfortable going to.
Like a live podcast.
Like a live podcast. Or like, it might mean going into a room where people are underage drinking and like
and not totally like trying to rip the beer out of their hands, but just sitting there and talking to them.
And
like they're a human being.
And like helping them out of that.
Yeah.
That might be what it means.
I think so. I like that.
Good podcast.
Great podcast.
But we're not done yet.
I want to help people with their dating problems.
Hey, anybody bad at dating?
This is the part of Oprah where you come on down. So someone raised their hand.
Everybody look under your butts. There's a new car.
There's a guy over here. He wants to come in. Come on.
Do we have a microphone
It's
for him?
Someone that you know, I think, Patrick.
Hey, Asaph. Do you have a dating question?
Do you have a dating question? Here, sit with Patrick.
Yeah, sit with me.
Sorry to Spoke Street Media, which, by the way, let's hear it for Spoke Street Media for sponsoring this booth.
Let's give them a second to realize what we're doing.
No, so that's a contractually obligated plug that I just fulfilled.
Hey, there we go. Hey, are we? Pat,
I think you can just take your mic out of the thing and.
I want to make sure the shots lined up.
We got to make sure the shots lined up. Sorry, we forgot to tell you that we were going to do this.
We got to line up the shots. Sorry, guys. It's a little bit of showbiz lingo for you there.
This street is being spoken as we speak.
Sorry? Oh, this is a lot more investment. Oh yeah, a lot more.
They can't hear you, Asaph Rocky.
Asaph.
Sorry, that's rude of me to do.
There is a microphone standing.
Microphone.
Out there. Is that? Can we get him that mic? Is that possible? Yeah.
I have a list. I have a file on my computer of a bunch of recordings of John Paul II saying different things, and one of them is him saying microphone, and he goes microphone, and it's very funny. So a lot of times I'll just go microphone, and nobody knows what it is until now when I tell you. There's also one where he's out on the piazza, which I don't know what that is, but a bunch of people are like, "We love you, JP2, we love you," and then he's like. He wants them all to go to bed because he wants to go to bed. And so there's this perfect MP3 that I have on my computer where he goes, "You must go sleep." It's incredible.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Are
You're
we
not
are
on.
we good?
You're not
I'm
on.
Oh, I think they're about to get
Give
you
it
on.
time. Give it time.
That's good for like a relationship. You got to give it time.
Yes, that's good. Okay, what's your name?
My name's Asaph.
Give it up for Asaph, guys.
Give it up for Asaph.
Yeah.
Being extremely vulnerable and bearing his soul live
in front of millions of people.
Millions of people. Mr. Beast.
In front of
right
millions
now.
of the bacteria living on our hair.
What is your dating corner question?
My dating corner question is, can you have a good relationship with someone?
No.
The good doctor, everybody.
We're all flawed. Out of here. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. Can you have a good relationship with
Can you have a good relationship with someone if you don't have a lot of common interests, but you have a lot of common values?
Interesting.
Where's my wife? You don't have to come up here, but this is exactly me and my wife. Is there more to the question? Sorry, I don't mean to jump on that.
I mean, that's it. I love that you have a lot of thoughts about this.
I do.
All right.
Me and my wife Emma, who I love dearly, have very little in common in terms of our interests. She enjoys putting neutral colors on things.
Yeah?
And I enjoy...
It's like that whole row back there of booths.
I enjoy...
So many neutral
tones. That was her aisle. She loved it. West Coast Catholic, that whole thing. She loved that
That's
stuff.
awesome.
I didn't
know the West Coast was so beige.
I enjoy studying no limit hold'em poker theory. You know what I mean? Like we're two different animals, and I think it's totally possible because obviously love is a choice. You know what I mean? Love is not a series of interlocking compatibilities that you find with someone, and then you just like, all right, these are our compatibilities, and now we will go get married. You know, like even if you find a gamer wife who's just as into World of Warcraft as you are.
Finally, the gamer trad wife.
Yes,
we've all been looking for.
and she wants to garden and homeschool her kids. You know, and wear all these things. It's like it doesn't matter because you're still going to have personality conflicts no matter what your interests are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really make a difference. And I think a lot of teens these days, a lot of young people. A lot of kids are like, I can't date anybody until I find someone who agrees with me on this, and this, and this. And it's like, well, those things should probably be, I believe in God, the Father, the Almighty, creator of heaven and earth. Like, if you believe in all those things, then, like, you have enough. Like, just by the fact that you're a man and a woman, there is enough there for a marriage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's the substance of the marriage.
Sufficient form.
Sufficient form. So,
indeed.
You have more to say about this?
Yeah, I mean, like, I would even caution against... like putting too much emphasis on compatibility.
People used to have arranged marriages that would last for 80 years, and they had never met each other, and their parents put them together when they were like 16, and they got like 12 kids.
Yeah.
You know, and they're all in heven now going like, beep, 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 beep. You know, like that's it.
I guess like I'd caution against the compatibility, especially because like when you're looking from the outside, compatibility is fine, right? You're like, oh, these two have a lot of similar interests, and they think about things the same, right? But at a certain point, you have to ask yourself, am I trying to marry myself?
Oh,
you know, like,
am that episode of Loki where he falls in love with himself?
Yeah.
Marvel.
Hey, I was thinking of that episode of Glee where Sue marries herself. Anybody Glee?
I've never seen Glee.
You're not immune to propaganda.
I don't like to sing.
Anyway,
I've never been happy.
Like asking, like if you're looking for, I don't know if this is like you specifically, so I won't like dunk on you, but like in terms of compatibility, right? We're not supposed to marry someone who's exactly like us. If someone likes all the things you like, they're either you or they're like lying to you to try and stay with you, you know?
Don't marry a liar. That's a good piece of advice that my uncle gave me once after his third divorce.
The compatibility issue, I think, is a product of this like self-worship.
Pray for my Uncle Tim.
I'm sorry, man.
I made him up. This is not
okay.
Real. Yeah. I'm not gonna put my family wounds out on a podcast
for free.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll put it on the bonus podcast.
I know. For those that don't know, Focus, if you want us to come back, you got to bring the cheddar next year because I can't keep doing this.
Please bring the cheddar.
Pro bono. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Speaking of you too.
Yeah, right. That's pro bono.
Oh,
for those of you who didn't
comedy.
Get the joke. Yeah, I think the emphasis on compatibility is a product of our culture of self-worship.
Yes,
you know, and
100%.
And it's I don't think it's the main deal. If that makes sense.
And you see that played out in all the different things of like, unless you are an ally with this group of people, and unless you do this, and unless you do this.
Oh, it's How I Met Your Mother.
Or on the other side of it,
unless
you are, a Trump voter, unless you're this, you're that. It's like people just assume that these flags, these literal flags that we fly to define ourselves, like unless you have the same flag as me, with all of the colors or all of the shapes or whatever, and it's updated, I don't want no Trump 2020 flags. I want a Trump 2024 flag, right? Let's be real.
Yeah.
He's coming back. Again, a joke. Please don't tell my mom that I said that. But it doesn't matter because a flag is not like that thing, that projection of your identity. Really just people want to be loved for who they are. And so to love someone based on what they love is like a weird twisting of that thing,
Yeah.
Like someone told me, a very wise man, when I was discerning whether or not to marry my wife, and I was struggling with this. I was like, I don't know, maybe I want to go to seminary, and I realized that I just wanted to go to seminary because I wanted to play sports and hang out with dudes. And it's like, once I realized that, I was like,
dudes.
That's probably a selfish desire that I'm maybe masking in some spirituality stuff.
You hear that, hacky sack seminarians back there? That's a selfish desire.
Yeah, my desire for seminary was selfish.
No, your desire was.
Yeah. Everyone
specifically.
Yes. But a priest told me, he was like, you need to love Emma for who she is right now.
Currently.
Not like who she might be or who she's going to be or who she was.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you have to love her for this person. And I think that's like what makes a marriage, is like, this is who she is today. It doesn't matter. I have to love her. And so I think all of that is tied up in your question. Does that sufficiently answer it?
Hey, it was great.
That was a great answer. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
I want you to go ask out a woman now, please.
Nope. You don't have to.
Someone in the crowd. We didn't tell you you're contractually obligated to ask out someone as soon as you get off of Dr. Ethan's Dating Corner
Live. Yeah, it's actually
live.
one step out.
Raise your hand if you're single. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. She thinks you're cute, bro.
Or at least her friend does.
That's so awesome. I'm actually in a really happy relationship right now. I wanted to hear what you guys thought.
Too bad for that girl.
But, man, I love that. Oh, my gosh.
We'll
you guys
find
are
you
great.
someone.
Right,
Do you want to come up here
you.
next? We'll find you someone. Yeah? All right, come on.
Oh!
Give it up for her.
Thank you, Asaph. Thank you. Right. A nice, friendly high five after that interaction. That was really good. Nurse, let's do some intake.
All right, now that we've stopped talking about types, who are you compatible with? 6'2". I'm just kidding. Plays lacrosse.
What's your name?
Oh, sorry. What's your name?
My name is Kara, and I'm from TU, so.
Yeah.
All right. Tulsa. What's up, Kara? What is your question?
What's your question?
So, this is coming from some of the other single ladies from TU, too.
Here we go. This is a group question. You've been nominated as the representative.
Yeah. And so their question and my question was how we should find a Catholic man.
Hey,
Two words, butterfly net. All right.
Can I hear from the Catholic men at TU real quick? Can I hear you guys?
Let's hear it. Yeah,
wow.
We're trying to find
I thought there would be more of them, but there's really none.
Hey,
maybe transfer from TU to somewhere else.
Hey, Catholic men, can I hear you make some noise real quick?
Let's hit the dogs coming out. See, every man who just barked, that's where you got to find. If you walk through the streets and you just kind of go like, like eventually a guy will pick up on it, and that's how you find them. And you can kind of leave a trail of treats, and they'll sort of follow you home. And you can domesticate them.
If you want to find a Catholic guy, leave a trail of cigars. And Chesterton books. I already made that joke earlier.
Yeah. A trail of cigars?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I know Catholic guys like.
In order to do what you're defining, we have to understand what it means to find what we're looking for.
But I still haven't found
what I'm looking for.
There it is.
All right. So, where have you looked?
Here? I looked here.
You've looked at Seek, and you're telling me you haven't found any.
I haven't found any.
I have to question your efforts a little bit.
I guess this is a perennial problem.
This is one of the things where the doctor comes in is like, oh, it hurts when I do that. Like, don't do that.
It's
like it hurts that I haven't done anything.
Well, do something.
Maybe you should do something.
I mean, Ethan, this goes back to the problem that we get from women all the time, right? I mean,
yes.
Okay, raise your hand if you've asked this question. Like, how do I know if he likes me or not? How do I know if he likes me or not?
That's a good question that people ask.
Am I allowed to ask out a guy as a girl? Like, what do I do, right? Ladies, is that the problem that you're having?
Yeah, it is.
So there's like guy you're hanging out with, and you're like, is he interested? Is he not? Is that the problem you're having?
Yeah.
Whoa. Now we're digging deep.
Do you want to go deeper into that? Do you want to like talk about it a little more?
You don't have to if we don't want to.
You don't have to because this is like in front of people.
Yeah,
so,
there's
like,
a lot of people here.
So what's your situation?
It's like, it's just complicated. It's just like.
That's your status on
Facebook.
Facebook.
Trying to like, relate and then like move on with like conversation and then like actually like start to get to know each other and then move further. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's hard. So it's obviously hard as a woman if the man doesn't take the initiative because then you're like, what the hell do I do?
Yeah.
I'm kind of stuck here. One of our favorite pieces of advice that we say is you can just go up to him and say, when are you going to ask me out?
That's not quite it.
What is it? Sorry, it's better. Sorry.
Are you going to ask me out or should I move on?
Yes, that's better.
That's the question.
Are you going to ask me out or should I move on?
Because are you going to ask me out is flat. It's pointed. Are you going to ask me out or should I move on? And it's clear and it's like this is going to happen if you don't do something.
Worst case scenario, he asks you out. Best case scenario, you shame him into becoming a better man.
Yeah.
Because really, he should be asking this question already. So that's one strategy you can employ. Another one is like, it's hard as a young adult to like find good groups of friends because maybe you're in a group of female friends and there's a lot of men interacting and it's just like weird because there's guys over here and girls over here. There's got to be a way, and this maybe naturally develops over time, but creating a group of friends or making sure that you are always inviting people of other genders into your group hangouts and not just always doing girls' nights or always doing guys' nights. Because if you don't have like a group, it's very difficult for relationships to kind of bubble out of that group.
Yeah.
If it's always just like you see each other, girls hang out, guys hang out, and then there's an event at the Newman Center, and then we all kind of see each other, and then we all go back to our own respective corners.
Good point.
For the next round of fighting.
This is a classic Sarah Swafford piece of advice. Shout out Sarah's over there, I think.
She's on the banner.
She's on the banner. Established 2005. That's when she was born. And she talks about like, the best thing you can do is like have the guy group and the girl group, and they just kind of hang out, and then a couple of them
do things together.
Yeah.
Have you considered joining the Knights of Columbus? That's a joke.
It has not crossed my mind
yet. The Ladies Auxiliary.
Yeah. give it a few more years. We'll see
Knights
what happens.
of Columbus sponsor the podcast.
I know.
I know you
ready.
can hear us.
So I would say
we just should go through all the sponsors we talked to and be like, will you sponsor?
If you're really desperate and you're really not finding anything where you are, you maybe need to do a change. Transfer to OSU. Transfer to OU. Go somewhere else.
Well, we already... I was in my transfer phase last year. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it's really challenging, and there's not like a clear answer, but I think it's patience and like allowing things to naturally, organically develop, because you can feel like you're in a spot where it's like nothing's happening. What year are you in school?
What year
are you in school? Sophomore, junior, senior. There's 4 options.
Yeah.
Freshman, sophomore. Which one?
Freshman?
Which year in school are you?
I am. Well,
This is what's complicated. How many years have you been in college?
I've been in college for 1 year, but I'm
okay, so you're a
early.
sophomore.
Yeah, but I'm graduating early.
What?
Okay, so you have less time.
You have less time.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people. Me and my wife didn't meet until a couple of years after school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not, as long as you stay plugged in with a good community, there's always a chance that something can happen, you know? Unless, of course, you move to like a very rural place like Guyman, Oklahoma. Have you met any men there? Yeah.
There we go.
All right. Let's calm down, okay?
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Have you tried Protestants?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, wow.
Okay, well.
Wow. A lot not a very ecumenical crowd, I will say. It's always an option. This is something that people don't realize. There's no good Catholic men. It's like, well, there's our good Christian men somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, it's the compatibility thing. It's like this person doesn't have the same aesthetic preferences as I do. You know, they don't go to mass. It's like, well, you can still date them. You know what I mean? There's no crime.
My father-in-law is not Catholic, but he goes to mass every week.
Yes.
It's great.
So I think there's lots of options. You just have to be open and just trust that the Lord's going to provide for you, even though in the moment you might be like, what the frick, dude? Which is not very fun advice, and I'm sorry. I hope this has been helpful.
Yeah. Thank you.
Round of applause for Kara.
Thank you for coming on the show.
We have 5 more minutes of our show. We can do one more really, really quick one if anyone has one more dating question that's quick.
You jumped up. You man. You were like,
Does he have a question? This guy over here raised his hand, so he kind of wants to come in.
Okay. Who he wants to
Is it quick? Is it fast? We got 5 minutes. All right, come on.
No, it's him. You hesitated.
You missed your chance. This is a good lesson for men. You have to go for it, or the opportunity will get snatched away by someone who's 6'5". What's your name?
My name is Luan Hill.
Okay, one more time. Can I see your name tag?
Yeah, it's Luan
Hill.
and Angel together, but Angel's like the Spanish form.
Okay, nice. Luan Hill.
Yeah,
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What is your question, man?
My question is, as Catholics, of course, we're here to, I believe you said it earlier, is first comes love, then comes marriage, right?
And then comes
the baby carriage, right?
Good.
When is it the proper time to ask for marriage? Because as of course, right?
On a beach, sunset.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Holding a bouquet of roses.
Yes.
And a salamander.
No, definitely.
Salamander part 2? You didn't hear that, did you? All right.
I don't think I did.
No, go on. I'm sorry.
Let the man finish.
Marriage is, it's a big thing, especially for young people, especially if you're dating to marry, right?
Yes.
So
I like what you're saying.
it's kind of hard to make that such a big decision when you're so young, if that makes sense, right?
How old are you?
I am 20.
Okay, people younger than you died in World War II. You know what I mean?
True.
And so it's like, I've been watching Band of Brothers while I'm rocking my son to sleep at night. So I've just been thinking about the soldiers and the troops. But it's like, it's hard because the culture tells you that you're so young. But, for the longest time, 20-year-olds already have a couple kids. You know what I mean? And so I don't want to tell you, like, abandon your whole frame of reference.
Yeah.
But if there's a couple of checks that you need to make, it's like, one, do I know that this is the person I want to marry? Right? Because you're not discerning marriage as a whole. You're discerning marriage with one particular person, right? So like, is this the person I want to marry? The answer to that question is yes. And the answer for her question back to you is yes. Then there's no reason to wait on God's green earth, except for maybe some very extreme extenuating circumstances, like she's in the middle of the Atlantic stuck on a lifeboat or something. You know what I mean?
But with a tiger or
But the thing is, what I'm fond of saying is delayed obedience is disobedience. And so if you know that this is what you're supposed to do and you're not doing it, then you are disobeying what God has in store for you. And you're missing out on all kinds of graces. I will say, it took me a long time to decide to marry my wife. And I'm glad that we got married when we did. It was all in the Lord's timing. But I wish I would have proposed sooner, There was no reason why we couldn't have had just as successful of a marriage if I had proposed 3 months earlier. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so, I don't know, do you have any specific fears or worries about being too young? Or is it just you kind of feel maybe too young,
I think it's a little bit of both, to be fully honest. Obviously, there's money involved, right? You want to have a nice wedding, right?
Yeah, of
right?
course.
You want to have a nice wedding, and just being that young, having kids already, it's almost like you want to live your life a little, right, before having kids. But I think,
is there more of a life than having a family?
Exactly.
That's the question.
Yeah. And it's just a tough decision sometimes when you're trying to balance both, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's.
And I guess two things, prudence is a virtue that's developed with experience, right?
Yes.
And you're not gonna. The best thing for you to have is men around you who have been through what you've been through.
Yeah.
That can kind of help you learn from their wisdom also, but also just acting is always a good thing, right? It's easier to steer a moving car. If a car is moving in a direction, you can figure out if God
You've never seen me drive, son.
If God doesn't want you to get married, He's gonna make it pretty clear, pretty quick. One of my favorite, most chaotic. Hey, no spike ball on this podcast.
Toss me the rock.
Oh my gosh, they're attacking. One of my most.
What are we doing?
Where's the rock?
I thought we hit your front row. You couldn't hear? All right. Anyway,
one of my favorite chaotic discernment techniques is. God,
just
if you
propose
don't
to 10 women in one day and see who says yes.
Hey, a 10% success rate.
Hey, there you go. Right.
That gets you there. My favorite discernment technique is, God, if you don't want this to happen, you better make it abundantly clear because it's going. I'm doing it.
This is the other thing, right? If it becomes clear that you need to wait to get married, you can always postpone an engagement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But once you're married, you have grace to help you through all of these things. You don't have that grace now. So the longer you wait, the more you're putting off getting the gift that will help you live the life that you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so God will always provide. It just might not ever look the way that you want it to look. So
I also have a question. Are you dating someone right now?
I am currently.
How long have you been dating? How long have you been dating?
We've been dating for, actually, we just started dating, so it's been 2 months.
All right, propose. It's time. Get on the horse, baby.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's 2 months is a little soon, but you're asking the right questions.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's hear it.
Thank you.
For low on hell.
Hey, thanks, man.
You guys have a good one.
Yes, you too. God bless and go Cats.
Ema.
We are right at an hour.
Let's go, guys.
I have really enjoyed podcasting with you, Patrick.
It's always a pleasure to podcast with you. I'm impressed that we've podcasted together 5 times in
this
the past
week. Can we tell people where to find us if they want to keep up with what The Crunch is doing?
You can go to thecrunchcast.com/subscribe if you want to listen to our podcast, and you can find us, The Crunch, on any podcast platform, and it's free. Crazy.
It's free to listen to. We have an online community, the greatest online community of Catholics. It's
so fun.
It's called Discord. Is anybody in the Discord out there?
Hey, Discord out there.
Right,
Let's go.
So if you want to be in an online community with all these amazing people, you can go to bit.ly/CrunchDiscord, where we talk about the ways that we're trying to be more human. We share memes. We share prayer requests.
Recipes.
We discuss the latest episodes of the Crunch podcast. We talk about Ocean's 11.
A lot.
A little too much.
The greatest film ever made.
Film.
Right after the greatest film ever made, second only to Ocean's 12.
Ocean's 12. So you guys are all going to want to join bit.ly/Crunch Discord. If you have a little extra cheddar in the bank and you want to support what we're doing, you can go to patreon.com/crunch. Any patrons out there?
Hey.
One patron.
One patron.
Let's increase that number today.
That sounds about right, yeah.
What? No, it's too late. You've missed your chance. You're like all of the men here. So you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, your favorite platforms, bit.ly/Crunch Discord. Patrick, do you have anything else for the people?
Subscribe to the Crunchcast. More butt jokes. Let's go.
Thank you all for listening. Please pray for us. We will be praying for you, and we will see you all next week.
Next week, baby. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
We hope you enjoyed this podcast. For more information on the Focus Seek conference, visit seek.focus.org.
This episode of the Seek 23 podcast was produced by Spoke Street. For more great podcasts, visit spokestreet.com.